So, welcome to the Graffiti Jungle. Pablo Pulingue. Benvenuti nella giungla dei graffiti. Questo è Impostore Rockstar, a podcast sui sigari. Sono il tuo capo, io sono Chief Gihareh K-Rail. Alright, bro. Man, I tell you what. So, I finished it. Let me get my whoa, stuff be falling, bro. Okay, so this is the last of it. Yeah, I finished it, bro. So yeah, I was breaking everything else down into like minute increments and whatnot, but this last one, man, the last thing he says is, even a fool gets to be young once. There was something else. Oh, a success. Yeah, I think I can remember that one. I feel like there was something else, like a little slick, funny comment that could have been whatchamacallit, but I'm trying to remember what it could possibly be, but let me think. Not really sure. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. So, once the whole incident happens, there's a couple things, and I think this happens oftentimes throughout the movies and whatnot, but happens a couple times, oftentimes, like getting faced with the opportunity to chance whatever to like stop. So actually, I think that was what the guy ended up saying to him. So once they have the whole it's around Christmas and they go and she's like, I want to go out. And he's like, after a while, Bumpy stopped going out. I thought he was trying to avoid this, but he would stay in the house, watch TV, play chess, read newspaper. I thought he was trying to avoid the quiet life, but you go outside, something might happen. You know what I'm saying? So, literally, bro. After that, the whole thing, him, his wife, everybody is back at the house, patching his arm up and whatnot. And his wife is like, we gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Now his wife, his mom, everybody is matter of fact, we come back to that. But his wife does sit down and is like, yo, we got enough money to go anywhere. He was like, and do what? Hide? He was like, I'm not running from nobody. I'm not hiding from nobody. Like, I'm not doing that. This is America. I'm not about to run from nobody, hide from nobody. Like, this is home. My wife is here. My mother's here. My family's here. My business is here. Like, I'm not running. I'm not going nowhere. So, but there's like one, that's his wife. Like, yo, we can leave. We can just, pack up our stuff now and we can just be out. You know what I'm saying? Calm, peace, lifestyle somewhere. Just go, right? This is because this is always a thing. you can get to a point, and it then depends on how long you can afford to do it. But from the way this thing was talking, um, so there's one. So he's not sure how did it happen. You know what I'm saying? Who would have come at him like this? And so the one guy that, made him an offer and was like, yo, this and the third, and talk about going to other places and whatnot. He says, you guaranteed me a peace of mind, security. Right now, I don't feel so peaceful. I don't feel so secure. You know what I'm saying? And so now the guy starts, I don't like how the guy talking, but he said some stuff. He was like, well, maybe it was this person. Maybe it was that person. You know what I'm saying? You put some people out of business. It does turn out later that is what had happened. What had happened was, so with, Frank, this thing was selling a better product at a cheaper price. That was Frank's thing, right? So he did end up putting some people out of business. So then he ends up putting some people out of business, and those are the ones that they came from or whatever. Now, he's talking to the guy, and now the guy said some dope shit to him though. He said, "You're successful. Your success took a shot at you. Let him cook. Let him cook." He said, "You got a choice. Either you can be successful and have enemies, or you can be unsuccessful and have friends. Let them cook." I said, damn, it's a choice. It's a choice. You can be successful. And then like the way I titled the short, because I'm like, yo, this is worth saying, this is worth repeating. I said, you can be successful with enemies. It's a double entendre. You can be successful with enemies. Like you can be at this level of success, but it comes with the enemies come attached to it. It's not that you're gonna be successful and you like the enemies are attached to your success, but then that's a part of it, right? The other part of it was, or you can be unsuccessful with friends. And I'm talking like, if you want to talk about a double entendre, it's in some like, you know what? If you stick with friends, you'll be unsuccessful. Or you can stick with enemies and you'll be successful. That's the way it was kind of almost, you know what I'm saying? Like when I titled the video, but like, that's a fucking bar. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you're successful. You know what I'm saying? So you can be successful and you're going to have enemies. Or you can be unsuccessful and have friends. Which ones you want? A lot of people are like, you know what? I'm just gonna be. That's a thing, right? Let's say that is what it is. You either the price of being successful and it coming with enemies. Keep moving, right? So clearly his wife wants out. She's like, I'm not leaving you, but we can leave this lifestyle. She says it. Boom. He talks to this guy. He lets him know, hey man, it's getting hot out here. This is what's going on. You putting people out of business, so it is what it is. Frank's sitting down watching TV. He's watching TV, watching the news. What does the news say? The news says it's over. What's over? It's over, right? So then, now, again, choices, decisions that you can make. Frank goes to make another order. He makes a call to Bangkok. He says, bro, it's all over. Everybody, we're coming back home. This whole thing is done. It was good while it lasted. It's done. Frank says, I'm on my way. He goes back over there. The guy tells him the same thing. He says, listen, quitting while you're ahead isn't necessarily quitting. And, oh, okay, I said it. Well, I didn't know exactly how whatchamacallit it was going to have to whatchamacallit, but I did say, okay, boom. He's your driver. Get rid of him. Come on, man. That's your cousin. He don't mean shit to me. He coked up all the motherfucking time. That's why he don't feel shit. Hey. That's alpaca. You block that shit. You don't rub that shit. You understand? That's $25,000 alpaca. You block that shit. You don't rub that shit. Put a motherfucking club soda up there. Anybody got business? Anybody want to talk? Nobody. I gotta get that one. I gotta get that one down. From now on, nobody talk to me directly. You understand? If you got business with me, you talk to Huey. Huey, you talk to me. You understand? And never on the phone, damn it. And take the motherfucking shades off. He said, get rid of him. He's your driver, get rid of him. He don't get rid of him. I told you, and the other part, he over here driving, looking back, eavesdropping. Fuck you looking at? You know what I'm saying? So they're, mind you, because they're all watching, different parts of, his family and whatnot. A couple of the brothers own different businesses. This one's a driver and this one. So they outside his joint. He has some little a skirmish altercation. The girl come outside. Pew, fuck is you doing, bro? It's shit like that. So they bring him in, and of course, what happens? He said, we're gonna need an informant. We're gonna need an informant within the family. So they got him. They got him, right? He's like, yeah, we got you. We got your prince and this and that. So, and Moshe looking at this, or put him on. They get him a wire, right? They get him a wire. So when Frank goes way over there, he calls back, basically let them know what, you know what I'm saying, when stuff is coming in and this and the third. Frank calls him, let him know when stuff coming in. Bada boom, they got him. You know what I'm saying? They was like, well, they was able to figure out which plane it was gonna be, but even with that, they was on some just the way it kind of was gonna go. He was like, nah, bro, just like this is our plane and this is a military plane, so all this all that. So, but they ended up watching it, and then it was like, well, look at this. What's this going on right now? Truck comes. They fill the truck up. Boom. They follow the truck back, and they follow the truck back. Woo. Then it was like, yeah, bring everybody in. This is what you gonna call it, bro. They cooking up. They cooking it, breaking it down up there, up here. And I'm not sure how they necessarily really found the apartment. Like, this is a big apartment complex with a lot of, you know what I'm saying, this and third. So I don't really understand how they really would have pinpointed that, whatever. But at this point, is where you see where things are going here. I'm trying to figure out where this other part happens. Oh, well, this is kind of like all together. Yeah. So, mind you, Frank is all the way overseas. So all he does was make that call to make and third, like, so now, but he doesn't know that everything is just going downhill. So they bust the spot. You know what I'm saying? Why they all naked? So they don't steal nothing. They bust the spot. Then they basically get everybody. It's this big little, it's this big hoopla. It's this big hoopla. Boom. But the other part was the other ones, the the one who had that whole with the 20,000, yeah, that that group guy special, real special. Man buys a $10,000. He comes to the in a $10,000 jacket and the best seats in the house and doesn't think give me a $10 cup of coffee. Who the fuck are you? And I'm special. Yeah, you must be special. Special investigations, the same thing. Boom. So that guy and his little whatever, they go to Frank's house. He says, now this is where it was like, you know. But it's like, you know, the character that you just kind of you kind of rock with, you wasn't sure this and third. It's his wife. You know what I'm saying? His wife. She was on some, so they come up to me like, where's the money? Where's the money that, you know? He's like, everybody, every guy they all got some money just so that they can get away comfortably and this and the third. Where is it at? So she was like, well, you better wait till Frank get back. Something like, she said something about whatever. He smacks her. The mother like, oh, what in the world? So, and then so, but he ends up, oh, man, shut the dog. Bruh. Bruh. The dog. This is just some other little parts that was just hurt. Like, damn, man. So, shot the dog. He found the money though. That was the part. He found the money. Now, so house, everything is just ran through this and there. Boom, boom, boom. So then, you know, Frank has a schedule. Frank has a schedule. And on Sundays, Frank takes his mother to church. You know what I'm saying? So Frank, his wife, oh, well, dude lets him know though. When Frank gets off the plane, he gets back, his driver shaking his head, nah. So, you know, Frank goes along. He still has his schedule. You know, he goes on Sunday. He takes his mother to church. So he goes to take his mother to church. His wife is there, and then church service about to be over. They walk out, and how do I say? They walk out, and Frank sees everything, and so they close the doors, and Richie is the cop lawyer, so Richie takes him, you know what I'm saying? They finally meet for, I think this is the first time that they really like come face to face, Richie and Frank. I think it's the first time. So, gotta go to court, but there, I guess like in the interrogation and sitting down, you know, Frank is like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? You want some regular, yeah, you can't want some just gangsters off the street. Like, that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't give a fuck. You want some cops? You want, what the fuck you want? You know what I'm saying? So, like in Goodfellas, that nigga started snitching. But basically, in this next little scene, you do see Frank helping them. So like they had the whole list, like that board with all the pictures. You do see Frank, boom, boom, like so. It does move, you know what I'm saying? Because Frank low-key kind of sort of tried to bribe him. He was like, I heard you turned down $1 million. Just tell me, you know, give me an address. It'll be right there with the house and this, that. You know what I'm saying? Frank's still trying to, you know. But, and the last part of it, though, you know, it does a little cut scenes. And so Frank was sentenced to 70 years, I think, for conspiracy. His wife goes back to Puerto Rico. His mother goes back to North Carolina. His, I think they said like 30 of his family members jail. Um, and the cop, the cop was taking exams. He was studying to be a lawyer, or whatever. So the cop leaves that unit, and he becomes a defense attorney. His first client, Frank Lucas. So it was all right to see, it goes from 70 years to 15 years. Still a long time. Still a long time. And so the these last little parts are on some, because he asked him, "Does it smell better out here?" And those are things. Those are things like if you were to get locked up for 15 years and then you get out, does it smell better outside? And especially like in New York of all places, like, you know what I'm saying, boom. And he walk in and he gets some. He said, "This is something latte." How do I say cafe on latte? Cafe con latte. Coffee with some milk in it. Whatever. They drinking coffee or whatever. He's walking down the street. Just like in how the movie started. So when the movie started, Frank is walking with Bumpy, and they walking through the streets, and Bumpy is telling him like, how things is going, this and third. And so Frank like, "What is this?" It's a shoe store. Everything $100. Imagine that, bro. He's like, "It's a shoe store. Every shoe in there's $100. Shit, real, right?" Oh, I think Frank got out in like 1991. He did 15 years and got out in 1991. So from there, I think they seized like 250 million assets of this and this and that. That's enough money to go missing for years, man. He could have. And so these are the other parts of, bro. You could have went low. You really could have. You were at a point, and there were like multiple points to just get out the game. These is always the things, and that this is the one part that is that conversation piece for just the normal average Joe to just be like, "Yeah, I would have got out right then. That's all I know." You know what I'm saying? But because even his last, whatchamacallit, it's the war. "Hey man, we ain't doing this no more. We not this and that. Boom, boom. I'm coming over there." He goes over there. Quit. The guy tells him. His supplier tells him, "Quit while you're ahead. Quitting while you're ahead isn't quitting." Then and then, but he's still on some. I need 200. Like this, like his first purchase wasn't even as much. I need 200. Like going overboard. OD. Um, and so he walk in. He's like, "Franklin." He's like, "Frederick Douglass. This used to be 8th Ave." And then from there, he was like, "Nah, this ain't what you gonna call it, bro. This times is different. Times is different." Um, oh, this guy. He's right here. This is the scene. I actually have a picture. I can I don't know if I can briefly show it. I'll briefly show it. No, I didn't. I didn't even what you call it. So that guy, that cop, because that was one Frank thing. Frank was like, "Who got my money?" You know what I'm saying? Who got my money? That cop, he ain't even, because so one of the things with Frank cooperating with, whatchamacallit, that's how he was able to get his sentencing reduced or whatever. And so, but that meant like a lot of cops were getting locked up. They won't let you out. It was a lot of shit like that. So this was a dope scene. Like, not even like a dope scene, but it was on some. So his last part was he's sitting on the bed, and everybody has their vice. Mine is cigars, but he does cigarettes. He takes the cigarettes, ashes on the cup, but he also has some coffee. So he gets up, and the coffee spills on the bed, and it's just, I'm like, shit, that's a scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some simple ass shit, but I'm like, that's a scene. So he has a lady, vacuuming and cleaning, the house. She doesn't even realize that he went outside and did that. So yeah, it's not a homicide. It's a he did that himself. I'm like, yo. So Frank is walking. Frank back to the end of the movie. Frank and Richie walking, and then he's like, "Oh, here comes the gangsters." You know what I'm saying? So they were this little group like brushes past them, and when the group like brushed past him or whatever, because he was like, when I was whatchamacallit, there was so many people out here, you would have thought this shit was Tarzan and Jane in the jungle. You know what I'm saying? And so it don't look like that now. And then so when he's like, oh, here come the gangsters, and they, you know what I'm saying, they kind of like brush past him, and he's just looking at them. He looking at, yo, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at them, they looking at me, and they're like, nah, man, this ain't that room. So they just keep on walking, keep on moving, and then Frank is like, even a fool is young once. That's something to break down. I'm not even sure. As far as the quote goes, even a fool is young once. It's cool, man. That's cool, man. That's cool. So at least Frank lives. At least Frank lives. You know, that's something to be cool about. Frank lives, but no wife. He ain't coming back to his wife. His mom, his mom is good. So, and because he asked him, you talk to your brother? He's like, nah, I ain't talked to him. It's probably best that they don't hear from me. You know what I'm saying? So, because that was another thing his mom had said, and because this is one of those, all right, stop while you're ahead. This ain't third, boom, boom. Like, cause like now. A good portion of this back part is stopping while you're ahead, pivoting, moving while you still can. Like, you know, like you have, with what you have, still making a move. You know what I'm saying? You can still get out of here with certain things intact. His mom says, you know, you could have been, whatever you were, your brothers would have been that too. Like, they were, when you called, they was all excited to hear from you. If you would have been a preacher, they would have all been preachers. If you would have been this, if you would have been that, like she was just saying, like if you would have been art, like they would have did that too, whatever you would have done. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was also another like talking point. That was also another talking point. And and you know, that was because that comes back to the point where he's like, I set you up with the Yankees. You could have been playing ball with the Yankees, this and the third. It was a slam dunk. All you had to do is show up. Why you ain't show up? No, I want to do what you do. Fuck you mean you want to do what I do? I don't do what I do so you can do this. I do this so you can live a better life. It be shit like that. Yo, are you tired of hearing that? I don't do this so you can live like this? Bro. Frank doesn't say that. He doesn't say that, but that is one of those fucking things. He gets up, but that's basically what he could have said. Bro, I don't do this so you can do, you want it. Like, what? But I mean, it brings them all in, though. Him, too. He's like, all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Frank was showing him. He was showing him. He brought him a part of it because that last drop, whatchamacallit, was a part of it. He had to pick it up. Why not? Transport it. And you know, like, that be even a thing, too. That's another little thing, too, like, on some. So the guy, he could have been playing for the Yankees, right? And it's like, the first time he could, you know what I'm saying, boom, it's like everything goes downhill. Damn. You see what I'm saying? Everything goes down. Your first time, it's like, bro, what? Shit was going smooth and blah, 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 woody woo. Everything is what it is. All this shit was smooth. Now, as soon as I jump in, that's all she wrote. So that's another fucking thing, bro. It be shit like that, bro. It be shit like that, bro. Because and now it's just of a conversation. It's just of the conversation, though. It is on some. It is of a. How do I say? Just on some conversation. What the fuck does that shit say? How the hell am I forgetting shit, man? Okay, let's try to wind this. Let's try to go down the same thought process here. So he could have. Oh, the question then was, about getting up, conversation wise, right? Conversation wise. When do you leave? When would you have left? When would you have stopped? You know, especially knowing that things are of a certain stature and order. See, I mean, that's how I was listening to it, bro. It is always like, okay, well, what is a safe exit? What is a safe exit? Like, you know what? I'm done. I'm tired. I'm done with this. I'm leaving this. I'm leaving this lifestyle. You know, safely. Like, all right, fuck it. I'm out this lifestyle. I done boom, boom, and I'm good to go do whatever I want to do. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? Those are always the things, bro. Those are always the things, bro. So that was the end of it. That was the end of it. Now tomorrow there's no looking forward to watching this movie. It's over. It's done with. But Frank left. I think Tess. He may not have, this or that. He said, one call and I can just hop right. Hey, listen, man, don't even. I know you joking. That's not even. That's what I call it. Man. So that's tough, man. That's tough. Good movie though. Good movie though.